Hello and welcome to One Called Mama, Season 7 premiere. I am your host, Sam, and I am so glad that you decided to join me today. Thank you for being here. I am really excited. I'm excited that it's Season 7. That seems like a huge milestone. I am excited that we are in January and things are going so far so good. I do have something shocking to say. It has been 5 months since I sat down to record an episode of the podcast. That is crazy to me. Let me explain. And let me explain why I'm telling you this, because I hesitated to tell you guys this, but I feel it's important. So back in August, I knew that I needed a break. And I also knew I was going to have a busy fall that I was stepping into. So I decided to go ahead and pre-record everything that I would need to get me through the last season. And then I could enter the holidays without having any interviews scheduled. I didn't have to do any editing. And it was so nice. Everything was done. And I was able to enjoy the holidays without having to think about, any other deadlines that I had to meet. And what's really interesting about this is, as many of you know, my father passed away late September 27th. And clearly I had no idea that was going to happen. And so I can't imagine having had to record any of this, any of the season 6, while I was dealing with that, and then everything else that we had going on in our lives, because there was a lot that happened in the last 5 months. So to sit here and think, gosh, it's been 5 months since I sat down to record is just wild to me. I feel very out of my element. I feel very strange. So we're going to get through this. I don't know what it's going to be like, but we're going to get through this. So I am so happy about what season 7 is going to cover, because we're covering a book, It Matters, by KimDeShields-Spencer. She is an incredible woman of God. She is someone I consider my mentor, a friend, a business mentor. She is just, she's wonderful. And so when she wrote this book, clearly I was very excited. I bought it as soon as it was, out there, and read the first chapter. And I just had this thought of, I should do a book club. And then that took off, and book club actually starts in about an hour, which is exciting. Our first meeting is tonight. And then I thought, wow, we should do the next season about this. This could be kind of fun to break down different parts of the book. And so that's what we're doing. We're just going to go through this book together. Now, clearly, and I got Kimberly's permission to do this, but clearly we're not going to go through all of the book. That wouldn't be fair to her at all. You need to buy the book yourself, and I would love it if you would follow along with me. I think that would be totally cool. If not, I am just going to pick out topics that appear in the book itself that I want to expound on, that I want to dig deeper into, things that really spoke to me. So that being said, roughly, we're going to every episode is probably going to be one chapter, something that I picked out of that chapter. So there's 7 chapters altogether in the book, and then there's an introduction. And actually, today's episode is just the introduction. So that's fun. And I know that seems kind of weird because intros are usually short, and this one is, but the topic is amazing. So this might be a short episode. I don't know, because I don't want to give you a bunch of fluffy stuff that you don't care about, right? I want to give you content that is good, and I don't want you to listen to a bunch of just wah, wah, wah. So that being said, before I jump in to the introduction, I want you to hear from Kimberly herself. I asked her, and she was gracious enough to give like a little introduction of her book and kind of explain it a little bit and give you a little bit of just teaser. So here she is.
Hi, my name is KimDeShields-Spencer, and I am so glad that you're getting ready to take this journey. I wrote It Matters for the Builders. the dreamers, and the leaders who want more than surface level success. In a world that constantly tells us to focus on how things look, this book is an invitation to slow down and pay attention to what really and truly matters. And that is how you think, how you move, and how you grow. I share real stories and practical lessons from my own journey with the hope that they will encourage you and remind you that you don't have to rush or perform to build something meaningful. My prayer and hope is that It Matters helps you create something lasting from the inside out.
Now, that being said, what I love in this introduction is that unlike other books where it claims to have the answers, right? You follow these rules, do these things, your life will be better. This book is very much here's some information. You can take it or leave it. And actually, you should probably not take it all. And she says it much better than me, clearly. But what she means is that this book is not another how to do XYZ, not a follow all the rules and you'll find success. Instead, Kimberly says, know and embrace who you are, what your mission is. Discover that and live in that. And here are some resources to help you do that. And actually, what she even says is that she doesn't even want you to read it cover to cover. She encourages you not to. She says, instead, read the parts that are relevant to you right now. And I think that is so honest and so practical. And automatically, it just switched in my brain. It made me think, okay, I trust her. I trust what she has to say to me. She's not trying to sell me something. She's being honest with me. And there's so much value in that. How often do we feel like someone has an agenda or that someone's trying to sell us something? That's not what this is about. And that's what I love. That's what I love because I will be real and transparent right now. I've only read the first chapter and it only took the first chapter. Actually, it probably only took the introduction for me to make the decision in my head. I want to do a book club on this because it was extremely impactful to have someone say that to me. And I know it's a book. I mean, I know she's not like in front of me saying this to me, but I know Kimberly personally. And if she was in front of me, I know that's what she would tell me. So embracing who you are, showing up as you and no one else. Because, so for instance, the space that I live in as a podcaster, a mom, a wife, a homemaker, someone who is trying to learn all the things to, homesteading a little bit, I guess is the word I'm looking for. How do I show up in my space? Because the people that I would look to are, are influencers, for example, people on social media who have huge followers and are making ridiculous amounts of money every month and posting about the things that are relevant to me. Those are technically the people that I should be looking after and trying to figure out what it is that they do that I need to be doing. And that is true. I do need to look to those who are successful and understand what makes them successful. What are they doing? Are they super efficient with their time and that way they're able to get all of this stuff in? Are they using tools that paid or free tools that allow them to manage their ministry, their social media accounts? There's things that everybody does. They're called systems. Everyone has systems that kind of govern how they manage and how they show up. But then there's the part that's unique, and that is who they are as a person, who they are in their core, in their heart, in their spirit, who they are. And there's so much that we could unpack here, and there's so much that makes us unique. The Lord created us all very uniquely. And not only that, we have experiences that we live out that also make us who we are. And in a lot of ways, good or bad, dictate how we show up. Now, she talks about mindset, okay? And I think in the next episode we'll get into that because that's in the first chapter. So we have this framework, who we are, how the Lord created us, our gifts, our talents, the things that he gave us to steward. And then we have our experiences that have shaped us into who we are right now today. And these are the things that we accidentally, I think, we accidentally stifle them. We think that we have to do what the other person is doing, and we have to do it just like them. And we have to present ourselves to the world just like that. When in reality, we need to figure out what makes them successful, take what works for us and what works for us right now in the life that we're living in right now, and then do it in a way that honors who we are as a person, how God created us. And I don't know about you, but that feels so empowering. And when I read that, I was just like, oh, that I needed. It was almost like I needed permission, someone to tell me it's okay to do it the way you're doing it. It's okay to show up as Sam. This is who you are. And then in a lot of ways, it allows you to be way more creative, because then you're not limiting yourself. You're not limiting all the things about you that make you you. You suddenly have the gates are wide open. You can do whatever, and you have the permission, quote unquote, to do that. So for me as a podcaster, I can decide, I can look at the metrics, right? And I can see that, okay, posting on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. falls in where most people that are going to listen to my kind of information, that's when they're going to pop on. But that doesn't decide the kind of content that I create. I found my niche. Well, actually, the Lord showed me, the Lord told me, but I have my niche talking to women and mothers seeking their calling, living that out, living lives of purpose. And then how I get to make that look and sound, that is all my decision. And then I've got, feedback from you guys. What do you like? What kind of stories do you like to hear? And I can create content that is kind of geared to those stories. But again, I get to control what the content is. I get to decide how that looks. So I hope that makes sense. I think what it is, it's just sitting down, and if maybe you're at the very beginning, maybe you have just an idea in your head, and a dream, a vision, a passion, something that that you're like, the Lord has been pushing me with this, and I know I want to do something about this. Start writing it down. Start making a spreadsheet. However you tick, whether it's writing it down, voice memos, emails to yourself. What do you want to talk about? What are you passionate about? What do you want your business name to be called? I sat down and I made a list of potential podcast names, and that was all I did for, I was focused on, well, what is it going to be called? And when I figured out what it was going to be called, it kind of helped me understand what my topics would be about. And I know that seems kind of crazy, but it really did help. So write down things, ideas, just brainstorm. And instead of trying to make what someone else has already made, understand or learn what your specific, unique angle is. And also, too, this is not going to be new information. I'm sure you've heard this. Yes, there are people out there probably doing what you're doing. Nothing new under the sun. Solomon, Ecclesiastes. Nothing is new under the sun. And that does not matter at all. Not one bit. It shouldn't even be part of the equation. It just simply is irrelevant. You are, again, uniquely you, bringing your own circumstances, your own voice, your own attitude, your own personality, and people are going to be drawn to you because they can get the information somewhere else, but they want to get it from you. And isn't that amazing? Isn't that cool? Because God, if he's put this on your heart, he's also going to bring the people to you. And that is a guarantee. So, like I said, this is probably going to be a really short episode. And I'm okay with that. We need short episodes now and then. Who knows how lengthy they're going to get after this first initial. So let's just keep it short and sweet today. But I do want to read this quote from the book. And it's this: this journey isn't about chasing after something you don't have. It's about coming home to what you already carry. It's about remembering what already matters most to you and letting that clarity, not your overflowing to-do list or the pressure of comparison, guide the way you show up in the world. And I think we just leave it there. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get into this book with you guys. I think it's going to be so good. And as we go along, be taking notes. Get the book. Read along with me as we do this. Like I said, we're probably going to be going week by week, chapter by chapter. Read it along with me. Let's do this together and let's show up how God pre-designed us to show up. Isn't that cool? How he designed us to show up. And let that be what guides us in this journey. No matter what phase you're at, it does not matter. Very beginning, just a thought in your mind, a passion in your heart, or you have a growing, thriving business. I think there's something here for all of us. Actually, I know there is. So if you have any suggestions for future episodes, if there are topics that you would like discussed on this show, I would love to hear your ideas. Please email me at onecalledmama@gmail.com. You can also book me for speaking engagements. So if you have a women's retreat, a lovely small group of women that you just want to have someone come in and do a little something, I would love to hear from you from that as well. So you can just email me, same email. And as always, follow me on social media. Check me out on YouTube. One Called Mama is my YouTube name, my channel name. And I have, and this is an exciting update, I have all of my episodes posted now. That was an undertaking. It took forever. I don't want to tell y'all how long it took. It took a long time. But all of my episodes are actually up there and coming soon. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to be posting additional content on my YouTube channel, and I'm very excited about that. So stay tuned. I don't know when that will be, but it's going to be very soon. Okay, like before the end of the month soon. So anyway, I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I will see you again very soon. Take care.